Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another hot episode of a very special podcast. This is the podcast in which we talk about all of your favorite TV series from yesteryear and then discuss it over a glass of tap water. I'm your boy, Patrick M. Dunn, and I'm joined here, as always, by the flashy girl from Flushing, Kat Halstead, the author. Welcome back, girl. Welcome back.
I mean, I'm not really from Flushing, but...
Close enough, right?
I could get close enough with the accent if I had to.
You could. How far away was Flushing from your old place in Jersey?
Okay, so Flushing is in Queens, which is one of the 5 boroughs, and I grew up in New Jersey, like 20 miles away from Manhattan.
Okay, so you could have just hopped on a train and head on over to see a nanny named Fran at her beauty shop, wherever she worked at.
I mean, it would have been a couple trains, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you have it mapped out? Do we know the train route?
No, I have no clue.
Oh, are you going to make a TikTok and have the train route from your old house to Fran Fine's beauty shop?
Oh my god, that'd be wild.
Complete with, I don't know, screen grabs. I'd like to see that.
I mean, like, the actual, like, the house they used for the exterior shots is like an actual apartment building.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
Like, I just saw a TikTok about it.
Surprised you didn't share it to me.
Within, like, the last week or so.
Unless it's in one of the, 400 that I haven't looked at yet.
I don't send you everything.
That is true. I think we have the same algorithm by this point, because I'll send you something, you're like, yeah, I saw that to you, 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I haven't looked at it yet.
I'm like, dude, I'm, like, the top comment on this.
Yeah, you get the most stars.
Yeah, actually, I think, like, the post that I have that I commented on that has, like, the most, like, responses is a French history.
I thought you were going to say the girl who watched Bananas or whatever.
No, oh my god. I'm never going to forget that every time I look at a banana.
Yeah, so a little background. I came across a TikTok and it was like a girl, and she found out that I guess you're supposed to wash a banana peel before you unpeel it, and it just kind of sparked controversy in the comments. So I don't know. Now there's this inside joke about bananas between the two of us. Yeah,
pretty much anytime there's something with bananas, I'm like, do you think she washed it?
Yeah,
do you think he washed it?
Yeah, for some reason I'm getting I'm part of Banana Talk now because I'm getting a lot of banana related TikToks, and I don't understand why. I guess maybe because I forwarded that to you. I don't know. Who knows? I don't understand the algorithm.
I don't know. I definitely get the hydration water talk girls. Have you heard about them?
No. I mean, I probably came across it. I don't know. Who knows?
They're the girls who, okay, so I told you before we started recording, I put a flavor pack in my water.
Oh, yeah.
These people get the 40-ounce Stanley cups, and they'll put in 2 flavor packets and then pumps of different flavored syrups.
Oh, that seems like a lot of work.
But I'm just I'm cool just with my 1 packet. I feel like that'd be this is actually, I totally get the idea of doing 1 packet in a Stanley cup size 40-ounce, because then the flavor's a little more diluted. But they're putting in 2 packets and 3 pumps of skinny syrup or something, and they're like, we have birthday cake water.
Ugh, too much. That's way too much. You know what? Just go buy a Propel. Save yourself some time.
I'm like, okay, I get part of it. I totally get part of it. But then there are people who get super upset about it.
Yeah.
And start freaking out. They're like, it's not water. It's
I mean, it's just a beverage at that point. I mean, technically, everything's water. Everything you drink is water, technically. If you really sit down and unpack it.
I mean, when I drink my milk, it's technically water because it was part water when the cow drank the water to make the milk.
Biological creatures are mostly water, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What comes out of that teat is water. It's liquid. H2O and some other things.
Right? It's
lactose, I don't know.
Let them hydrate. If they're gonna hydrate, let them hydrate.
Yeah, let them hydrate. Let them live. Are you part of Well Talk? Speaking of water, have you seen that?
I don't think I'm part of Well Talk.
Oh, this is
I remember there was the woman who they had a waterway in their yard. The neighbor was pissed off because they thought it was clogged and draining into their side or something.
Okay, I haven't seen this side of Well Talk yet. I found the one, and now it's like I keep getting these updates on it. It's this like couple in England, maybe I think. Can't remember where they live.
Wait, are they the ones with the well in their kitchen?
Yes.
Oh my god, I saw that. I saw that.
They wanted to install heated floors in their kitchen, so they like just completely destroyed the kitchen floor and like I don't know, grinded up the cement, and they found like a well under like an old like 1700s well that was still working under their kitchen, and now it's like part of their kitchen. They have like a glass top over it, and it's all like lit up.
Yeah, I saw.
But
it's wild. I did see that. I forgot about that.
But Gen Z was shook because they were like, "Oh my god, what if you fall in there?" I was like, "They gotta put a cover on it." And then like people wanted to put fish in there. I was like, "No, like just."
No, that's literally they could set that up to be their drinking water. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't want to see any more updates from it, but I keep getting updates, and it's kind of annoying now. Kind of not gonna lie. NGL. All right, who cares about well talk? Who cares about hydration talk and banana talk? We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk Nanny. Yes, we decided to dip into this world, even though we kind of like slandered it in the last episode. If you listen to it,
last episode we were like, "Oh, it was mediocre." I don't know about you, but I did actually enjoy this episode.
It was okay. It's very much like a time capsule, though. This is definitely like a time capsule episode because
it really is. Oh my gosh, it just led me to think about like all these different pieces of 90s pop culture.
Yeah, I mean, I think we picked a good episode. There's definitely
I do. I think we probably picked one of the best episodes we could do of this show.
I know there's a lot of weirdness in this show too. The humor is kind of weird, and there's like running gags and stuff. Like they always like don't they? We get it in this episode too, where they like call back to old television shows. Like this episode, we get like Dick Van Dyke.
Yes. Oh my god, it's amazing. There's a reason it works so well in this episode.
It is, and we'll get to it. Yeah. So we did the Nanny. We did a season 4 episode. It's like season 4 episode like 4.
Yeah, it was season 4.
Very early.
Yeah, it was like season 4, episode 4.
I guess in the 3rd season finale, they Maxwell Sheffield, who's Fran's boss, they go to Paris, and then they're like flying home from Paris, and like the plane seems like it's gonna crash, and the boss like confesses his love to Fran, and then like it's like a cliffhanger. Like you're like, oh no, is the nanny and Mr. Sheffield gonna die in a plane crash? And then, like, the next episode when they came back, it was just kind of, like, pushed aside. Because I think, like, TWA Flight 800 happened, like, in between season 3 and 4. So they kind of just wanted to...
oh, my God, yes.
You know, they didn't want to be, like, insensitive. So they kind of just not really mentioned, like, a plane crash again. Like, they were just okay, I think, and then just kind of forgot about it.
Well, it wasn't like it crashed. It was, like, having, like, turbulence, and Maxwell freaked out. I did not, like, go and rewatch the episode or anything.
Me neither, but I remember there was, like, slight not really controversy, but just kind of one of those, like, you know, like, if, let's say, like, I think there was, like, a crossover of, like, Family Guy, American Dad, and Cleveland Show about, like, a hurricane that went to, like, all 3 of their towns.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, a tornado or something. And, like, it was supposed to air, like, right after, like, a tornado happened, so they just like pushed the episode back. It was like kind of something like that, I think, like that kind of controversial.
Well, it's like with Oklahoma, the Oklahoma bombing, they like had to like push back like the Melrose Place. Kimberly tries to blow up the building.
Oh yeah. It's like weird, like things like that.
It's like that kind of thing.
Yeah, they're like, you know what, we're just gonna delay the season by like a month and a half, just so people will forget about Oklahoma City.
Or like,
yeah, so they did it with the nanny. I think, I think they acknowledged that it happened, but then it just resumed their regular lives and just kind of brushed it off. And Maxwell Sheffield took back his profession of love to the nanny, but it gets brought up again in this episode that we watched though. Like we get a weird like fourth wall break-in.
Oh yeah, well okay, so here's the thing. This is the thing. So like the whole like they get back. Niles knows something happened, but Fran and Maxwell will not talk about it. They won't tell him. and he's dying to know because he is probably the biggest Fran and Maxwell shipper in the world is Niles.
Was he? I don't remember that element.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not... Shipping in 1996 is very different than shipping in 2023.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, like, very different worlds. But, like, he was definitely he was probably their biggest supporter. Like, the one who's like, they should be together, like, da-da-da. Like, okay, part of it was because he knew it drove Cece crazy.
Oh, yeah. Cece.
Okay, so what was on TV this night, Patrick?
Oh, okay, all right. So this episode aired... Yeah, we'll come back to it. We'll come back.
We'll get into it, I promise.
Yeah. All right, so this episode aired on October 9th, 1996, Wednesday night. Can you imagine what's going to be on tonight? Do you have any guesses, any inklings?
Okay, a Wednesday in 1996.
Yeah, we'll start with ABC. And I'm actually I got missing data. So I think this is election time. So I think there was probably a lot of election stuff going on tonight in the 9 o'clock slot. Maybe there was a debate. You get your political data coming up. Political corner over here.
Okay, it was an election year. So there could have been like a debate or something. That's kind of, I don't know.
For some reason, the only thing that I have data for the 9 o'clock hour is the WB, and everything else is blank. So I feel like there must have been a debate on. And all like the normal 10 o'clock shows got like pushed back to 10:30 this night. So like I'm like, something's up, like something was going on.
Oh, there was totally a debate that day. 100% a debate.
Dole and Clinton?
Yes, and I found the transcript for it.
Oh, okay. Put it on the Patreon.
Oh my god.
Cat Hall said reenacts the 1996 debate. Is this the presidential debate or the VP debate? Do we know?
Yeah, it's Dole and Clinton.
Must have been fun to watch.
It's the first Clinton-Dole presidential debate.
Okay, so this is the year that The Simpsons did that Trios of Horror where Kang and Kodos assume the bodies of Dole and Clinton, and they're like walking down the street holding hands.
Start making out.
All right. Yeah, so I got some data tonight. 8 o'clock. ABC's kind of coming at us with some heavy hitters tonight.
Okay. So we got a presidential debate this evening. That's part of the night.
Any guesses?
I honestly, I cannot, like, my brain is just not, I want to say, like, Grace Under Fire and Coach, and I know that's probably wrong.
You got Grace Under Fire right. That's on at 8. That kicked off the night.
Okay.
Yeah. Good show, which we've never done before on the podcast, which I don't know why.
We haven't?
No, we've never dipped into this world.
I don't remember half the time. This is why I have a spreadsheet.
You don't have the spreadsheet in front of you, though, do you?
No, I don't.
Hit Control F and write Grace Under Fire and see if it pops up.
I'm sorry. I'm like scrolling to see if anything like sticks out during this presidential debate transcript.
This is a pre-Monica Lewinsky blow-up world, but I feel like she was probably in the White House at this time, though. I feel like she was probably in that little hallway that she hung out with, maybe like that senator guy that like killed himself or died in a hunting accident or just died under mysterious circumstances was probably still kicking at this point.
That's like 5 different people.
That is true. We are dealing with the Clintons here. And I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't have said that because we might be next. We're on the list. The hit list. All right, yeah. Any guesses what's following Grace Under Fire? You will never get this, but I 100% watch this show, though.
Oh, I can't. I'm just drawing a blank for 1996 ABC Wednesday night.
This actually stars a familiar friend, someone that we just talked about recently.
Oh, God.
Like, super recently, as in, like, last week recently.
Oh, is this Townies?
Yes, it was Molly Ringwald, Jenna Elfman, Laura Graham, Bill Burr, Ron Livingston. They like ran like a townie bar, is from what I remember. It was kind of like a Friends clone. Yeah,
it was definitely a Friends clone.
This was the year of Friends clones. We had like Buddies, Townies,
Wild Oats.
Wild Oats, yeah. That was on Fox, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was on after the Bundys, maybe. Seems like a post-Bundy show.
Possibly, who knows?
So this obviously didn't last because a year later, Jenna Elfman got a haircut in Dharma and Greg, our favorite show, our new favorite show.
Oh my god.
All right, so that's ABC.
I'm going to say this. I love Thomas Gibson, but I am never watching Dharma and Greg again.
Never say never, though. All right. CBS, we obviously had The Nanny. And then do you remember Almost Perfect?
Oh my god. Wait, hold on. Is this the Nancy Travis show?
Yes. This is like, she's
Where, yes, she's a TV writer and he's like a cop or something.
Yeah, so Nancy Travis plays a character who's like, she's a writer of like a fake NYPD Blue like show.
Yes.
And
Yes.
she's
Oh my god.
dating a cop or like someone involved in law enforcement, and
Like a detective or something.
yeah, and she kind of like uses his, I guess, stories to write this show. I think I can't remember.
I just have this memory. The biggest memory I have of this show is in their writer's room, them talking as the characters. Like someone's like writing down what they're saying, like taking notes, and they're just like bouncing off each other, like writing a scene. Like that is a core memory I have.
I don't remember that, but I mean, I definitely remember. I've definitely seen it. It was only on for 2 seasons. In my mind, this was on for like 10 years. But I guess it wasn't. Like, I thought this was like a hit.
Listen, Nancy Travis is amazing, but I think her longest running show was Last Man Standing.
Which is still on? I don't even know, to be honest with you.
No, it's done. She actually now has a Hallmark show called Ride.
I thought they brought Last Man Standing back, or did it go away again?
They did, and then it came back for a few more seasons, and then it got an ending.
I have never seen Last Man Standing. Gonna throw this out there. Never. Not even by accident. I just have zero interest in it. I don't know. Like, Tim Allen, I just can't.
I love Tim Allen.
Can't do it with him anymore. You know, his ship has sailed.
I love Tim Allen. I even watched the Santa Claus series.
We know my thoughts on the Santa Claus. Listen to the Santa Claus episode.
No, not the movies. The TV series.
Oh, I know. But I'm saying, you know my thoughts on the Santa Claus.
And it's getting a second season.
Just let that franchise just crumble. So many problems with that movie I have. Just don't even know where to begin. Just listen to we did it like 3 years ago. You can listen to it, and I think you get mad at me like 15 times in the episode. And it's like a 3-hour episode too. I was like, why is this going on so long?
I think it's like the one time we watched something together via Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, because you can do that like share watch thing, and you can like just
Yes.
You can't chat on it, but you can like do emojis. It's like every now and then I would just see like a laugh emoji, and I'm like, oh god, it's like that wasn't funny. Not a funny movie. Not a good movie.
Oh my god.
I have zero data for Fox, and so I'm guessing they had the debate on, and maybe nothing else. I don't know. I don't know what they're up to tonight. Who knows? I was thinking like baseball, because it's like...
It's 1996, though.
It's like World Series season, so maybe baseball was on? I don't know. Someone had to have baseball on. You know, not everybody was watching the debate.
I
feel like, you know, we had like an Atlanta Braves against the Red Sox or something.
Ugh.
What did you... Ugh, the Red Sox or the Braves?
Both.
Both.
But mostly the Red Sox.
I don't know. Can they even play each other? Are they in this, like...
Okay, so the World Series didn't start until October 20th of that year.
So we're in regular season, maybe?
But maybe some playoffs then.
Yeah, maybe. I'm sure.
It would have been playoffs.
The playoffs, I guess it's called. What do I know?
You know nothing. This is why you try to go see American Sniper during, like, a major football game that shares a stadium with the movie theater. And then you're like, why is it crowded? You're never living that down. You're never living that down.
The parking lot for the movie theater is in the same parking lot as Gillette Stadium. And I was like, oh, wow, like there's 100% seats available tonight.
And no parking.
And it wasn't just like a regular Patriots game. It was like an important one, too.
No, it was the Deflategate game. It was the Deflategate game.
Yeah, it was like an important game. It was like a playoff game, like this.
Yeah, it was the playoff game, and it's the one where we caught Brady deflating the balls because Brady is a cheater.
I'm a part of history.
I love that I know more about sports than you.
Who cares? All right. NBC is a lit night. NBC is on fire tonight.
Okay, give me NBC. Something's got to be good. There's got to be like some unsolved mysteries of Law and Order or something here.
Close. Not really close, but things kick off at 8 o'clock with Wings. Yes, Wings.
Okay, Wings. We like our wings.
Tony Shalhoub. What's the guy's name? Steven Weber? Is that his name? Or Kenneth Weber?
Yeah, Steven Weber, Timothy Daly, Crystal Bernard.
Tony Shalhoub, right? He's in it too.
Yeah, Tony Shalhoub's in there as the taxi driver. He shows up a couple seasons in Thomas Hayden Church as Lowell.
Yep. We've done it. We did an episode of Wings that had Kelsey Grammer and our girl, Bear with. What's her? What the fuck is her? I can't think of her first name. Lilith.
Baby!
Yeah, baby. I was going to say Nina. I was like, Nina Bear.
I was like, sitting here, like, is he really blanking out this name?
I'm tired. All right. I'm excited for NBC 8:30. And you're going to be excited too, because this is a classic. We haven't done it, but I don't even know if you can find it anywhere, though. Maybe on the Internet Archives. Who knows? Any guesses? He's back now. The guy who's in the show is back on the air in a series that's currently airing.
This is the John Larroquette show.
Yes.
We know I love me some John Larroquette. Like, I have watched some bad stuff just for John Larroquette.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the John Larroquette show was good, though. This is like a...
That's not the one that was bad that I was thinking of.
Oh, what was the bad one?
The one that, Me, Myself, and I, or whatever, the one that, like, took place at different points in this guy's life. And it had Jaleel White and, who was it, Horatio Sands?
No, Bobby Moynihan.
I don't know. They're kind of the same guy.
I guess so. I don't know. All right. We haven't done a good son scenario in a while. Horatio Sands or Bobby Moynihan. If you know what, you're having a picnic on a cliff, near a cliff, and you see Bobby Moynihan and Horatio Sands fighting over a script because only one of them gets to be the star of the show. And they roll off a cliff, and you have enough upper arm strength to only pull one of them up. Who you taking? Who you pulling off? Who you saving in this scenario?
First of all, in Patrick's imagination, I am way stronger than I actually am. I think I would have to save Horatio.
Yeah, me too. That was the correct answer. Yeah, I don't think I've ever liked Bobby Moynihan in anything. He was kind of like in the last era of SNL that I watched, and anytime he came on, I just changed the channel.
I wasn't even watching SNL by then.
Really? You were still, you were out of that world?
I think I was definitely out.
I was out, I feel like when, Maya Rudolph was out, I was out. I was like, I'm done. I'm out. Peace.
I think when, Sherry O'Terry and Will Ferrell were both definitely gone, I was like, yeah, I'm out.
Anna Gasteyer, that era.
Just done. It wasn't funny, and you know how I feel about Amy Poehler.
Yeah, we know. All right. Want to just blow through the WB real quick just because we don't have enough data to get us through a whole night of television. Just see what their counter program into the debate was.
I mean, yeah, what is even on the WB at this point in 1996?
I'm actually going to throw this out there. I have seen all these shows. You know what? I probably was watching this tonight. Let's be real.
Okay.
This was pre-Dawson's Creek, pre-Buffy. Seventh Heaven was already out, so they in Savannah, so they kind of had a few of their dramatic staples, but it was mostly sitcoms. And
sorry, I just swooned at the thought of Savannah.
Yeah, Jamie Lunar, friend of the show, Jamie Lunar.
Robin Lively. Yeah,
we get this is pretty much heavy hitters for me for the WB sitcom wise. So things kick off with the ABC refugee, TJF refugee Sister with Tia and Tamara.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you've seen it. I know you've watched Ups.
I mean, everybody watched it, and then nobody watched it, and it was on the WB, so.
Yeah, no one even knew it went over there. They just forgot about it, just moved on with lives. And then, I don't know if you were on the show. It was on for a little while. It's definitely not a WB staple, but for me it was, because I watched it all the time. Nick Freno, licensed teacher.
Licensed teacher! I loved Nick Freno, licensed teacher. Portia de Rossi. That's where she got her start.
Yeah, we get a super young Portia de Rossi. This is before she they brought her over to Ally McBeal and obviously Arrested Development. We're a decade before Arrested Development. He was a substitute teacher, a permanent substitute teacher.
Yeah, so back I don't know if it's still like this, but back in the day in New York, if you had a certain amount of college credits,
you could become a teacher.
You could get a license to be a substitute teacher. And they were in such a teacher shortage that they would end up these guys with no real formal training to be a teacher became a teacher.
Yeah, we had that in my school. It was you had to finish at least 1 year of college, and then you could be in the sub pool. There were 4 or 5 randos that would just kind of come in and just fill in for, I don't know, maybe the gym teacher is sick and you just get some college kid just having you play dodgeball, and or like like your social studies teacher's sick, and the sub comes in, and I don't know, you watch like movies all class because they can't really teach, they don't know anything, they're just there. You play hangman maybe, or like.
But like the concept behind Nick Freno was that he was like a full-time teacher.
Yeah, he became like a temper, like it's kind of like a head of the class scenario where the actual teacher was like on leave for a while, and Nick Freno kind of like is here for the long term, and then like maybe he ends up becoming like the teacher after the first season, because this is definitely on for more than 1 year, I think. Maybe like 2 seasons this is on for.
Yeah, it was definitely a 2-season show.
Yeah, it was big.
And I feel like there were like some names back that are like names now that were on back then, but maybe I'm wrong. Like
as the teens and stuff on the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at the cast list and I don't really recognize any of those names, but they could have been guest stars though. Could have been like hot guest stars. Maybe like the kid from Problem Child, maybe. The little red-haired kid.
Like there are people who were definitely like in, like they were probably like those kids that were like in a bunch of like things.
Like getting their start.
Like the random made for VHS movies and stuff back then.
Like Eric Von Detten or something.
Yeah, like people like that. Like I like kind of recognize some of the names a little bit. I can't tell from the pictures because like half the pictures of them are like adults.
Oh yeah, because they're like older now.
Like, eh.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't know who that is.
Mila Kunis was on this.
Oh, she must have been like super young then, because she was like 14 in like 99. So
yeah,
good to know.
Estelle Harris was on it.
You know what? We gotta track this down. We gotta go back into this world. I need to know more about Nick Freno, licensed teacher, because it's been a minute. You know what? I haven't like it never hit syndication or never made like
for real
hit Tubi TV or what's that other one? Crackle.
Yeah.
We need to find. It's probably. We'll look on the Internet Archives.
Oh, I got an episode on the YouTubes.
You already got one. All right, add it to the list. Throw it on the list, and we'll watch it. All right. Following Nick Freno, I definitely watched this show. I wasn't big into it, but I did dabble in it. I know my brother definitely loved this show, and I think I just kind of watched it because he watched it. The Wayans Brothers.
Oh, yes. That was on for like a good chunk of time.
Yes. And this is old.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, this had a good 5 seasons according to Amazon. You can buy them. Like you can buy the show on DVD.
Wow.
Like if you choose to own this. I couldn't even tell you the premise of this show though. I just remember the dad from what's the Ice Cube movie? Chris Tucker. Friday. The guy who played the father was like, I think their father on this show. I think his name was Pops. Like I think they called him Pops, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I never really watched the Wayans Brothers. Like it wasn't like my thing, but I remember like bits and pieces. I think sometimes my brother watched it, but not really. Like this is about the time. Like this is like we had TVs in our room by then, so.
Yeah, like you chose not to watch this. Like you purposely chose not to watch this. I definitely went through a short Wayans Brothers phase, but it was the movies. Like they did movies, like the scary movies, and there's other ones.
Yeah.
Like I know I've seen numerous Wayans Brothers movies. Like I know I've gone to like the movie theaters. There's like one where I think it's Marlon Wayans. Yeah, it's Marlon Wayans. He's like a poor college kid, and he just signs up for these like weird clinical trials, and he gets these like heightened senses. It's called senseless actually, and so like 1 minute he'll have like heightened like vision, and then like all of a sudden it'll change over to like heightened hearing, and then like, he can't like feel anything. It's weird. It's a fucking weird movie.
I just know they had like that one movie with like the really long title.
Oh, it was like a spoof of like Boys in the Hood. It was drinking juice in the hood or something.
That's literally what I put in the Google search. It is "Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood."
Yes, I definitely rented that when I had the flu. Like whenever that came out, like whenever that hit video rental scene, I just remember having the flu like for like a week, and I just remember renting like I sent my mom to the video store and she got like 20 movies, and I just watched movies for like 4 days straight. Like and that's what I watched. That's what I rented. Kids, like the classic Kids movie. I never want to watch again.
I've never seen it, and at this point in my life, I never want to.
It's not a good movie. when it came out, like I really wanted to see it. I don't know why. Maybe just
Because it had that rating.
yeah, the NC-17. It was like the only movie that was like ever rated NC-17. Like I don't even think Showgirls was rated NC-17.
I think it was.
Was it? I don't remember. Which I don't even know why. Like it's not even that scandalous. It's not that like it's like they made a version that they play on like VH1.
Right.
And they don't even cut out a lot. Like they barely cut out much. Like you just like literally Showgirls. You just like
You could watch it on Tubi.
occasionally you see like an areola on Showgirls. Like I don't even understand like what the big commotion was.
Yeah, I think it was just.
Is it because it was like Elizabeth Berkley and she was like a former
Probably.
child star at this point, and they just didn't want like kids to go to the movie theater and see it? Like I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, yeah, it did have the NC-17 rating.
Yeah, it's like a tame movie. It's not even that. I remember being like 15 and thinking it was going to be like a porno, and it's like, oh, like I just saw like a titty, and like you could see that for free on not for free, but on Cinemax on like a Friday night at like 11:30 p.m. I don't understand like what the big deal. I don't know. Who knows? We were a bunch of prudes back then.
I mean,
You ready for the last show of the night?
yeah. What's the last TV show on this night?
It still blows my mind that there was a WB show that pretty much has like a today's A-lister Hollywood star on it. Like someone who like won Oscars and Golden Globes and People's Choice Awards and any award. Any guesses?
No.
The Jamie Foxx Show.
Okay. For some reason, when I think the Jamie Foxx Show, I think UPN.
No, this is actually on the WB, and Jamie Foxx is like a bellhop at like a LA hotel, like a fancy hotel. Everyone has to like dress up in like suits and stuff that works there. And it's just about like the shenanigans that goes on there, and like Garrett Morris is in it.
Love me some Garrett Morris.
Yes, I think he was like, I can't remember what his character. He was like his uncle. I think he was like Jamie Foxx's uncle, if I remember correctly. Like he had relations. Like he was kinship. I definitely have probably seen every episode of the show, and that's all I could tell you. Like I don't remember specific episodes. Like I can't tell you.
That is wild.
Like storylines, I just know that it was a show that was on the WB, and I watched it every week for like 5 years. And then it definitely like it had enough episodes to hit like a rerun circuit because it was on like not Nick at Night, but maybe like TBS or something. It was on the Superstation. Yeah,
it was definitely on something because that's where I think that's where I mostly saw it was in the reruns.
I don't know. I don't know how it became a hit, but it did. All right. Looking back at the night, at this illustrious, weird night of television, how would you rate it? On a scale of, let's go with like 1 out of 5. How about licensed teachers? How many licensed teachers would you rate this night of television? I think this is an interesting night. It's not bad. It's not good.
It is an interesting night. It's kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
Like what the networks each chose to air with the presidential debate.
I mean, I'm guessing this is just their normal, like, schedule for the night. They probably just, whatever was on at 9 just got bumped.
That's true. But, like, you're going to want to put your stronger shows on, too, you know? Because here's the thing. You want them to go in from watching that episode of The Nanny and the Nancy Travis show. You want them to watch CBS, right?
And, like, stay on CBS for the debate?
Yeah, and stay on CBS for the debate. Or at ABC, you want them to watch Grace Under Fire and then the show with Molly Ringwald and Jenna Elfman and Laura Graham. You want them to stay on ABC and watch the debate.
Do they cut to commercials during the debate?
You know?
I honestly don't even know.
Yes.
Like, is there ad revenue coming from this?
Yes, I believe there are ads during a debate.
Would we get, like, Super Bowl level commercials? Would we get, like, a Budweiser Frogs commercial?
Back then, definitely no, but now they would totally try that.
There'd be, like, a little, like...
The networks are desperate.
A little, like, bug in the corner of the screen, like a little pop-up. It'll be like, watch Survivor, like, premiering after the debate tonight.
I mean, isn't this about the time they started with the little annoying crap on the TVs?
Yeah, it was definitely late 90s when the little, like, logos would pop up in the corner, and then you would get the little ads.
Yeah.
Which messes up when you would try to VHS record things. But...
I hate those. I still hate them now. when I watch live TV, and then there's like this little thing in the corner like, oh, guess what? So-and-so is hosting the Oscars. And I'm like, I don't care.
My favorite thing is like if you, for some reason, if you watch like Paramount Plus and you watch like an early season of Big Brother, like the recordings that they put on Paramount Plus, it's just like a live dub from the network thing. So like there'll be a little bug in the corner. It'll be like the series premiere of CSI, like coming up next.
Oh my god. Like the series premiere of Criminal Minds.
Yeah, these are like it's like that till you get to like season 12 of Big Brother. It's really weird.
Listen, I'm on season 11 of Criminal Minds now.
Yeah, you're almost at the end, or caught up anyway.
I mean,
yeah, you're in the JLH years.
No,
you sent me a screen grab.
Jennifer Love Hewitt was only on one season.
Oh, you're in the JLH year, because you definitely sent me a screen grab the other day.
No, I finished that one. I finished that last night. Or no, this afternoon.
You were in it, because you sent me a screen grab like 3 days ago.
I was like at the Aisha Tyler guest starring section.
Oh, okay, when she had like a little run of episodes.
Yeah, but then I think she comes back later, like full time.
Oh, okay, she became like a full-time cast member?
Yeah.
I guess she had to do something in between seasons of Who's Line, I guess.
Who's Line and The Talk and all that. She used to host The Talk.
Yeah, I feel like, isn't she still on it?
No.
We definitely went over this recently. We definitely did like a talk.
We did.
Yeah, well, let's not rehash it.
I feel like we actually go over this like an odd amount of times, and we're like always thrown. Like when we find out.
What's the one that I don't like that you like? Sherry Shepherd, is that her name?
That's she's one of the View ladies.
Oh, I know. Who's the one from The Talk?
Okay, so the current hosts of The Talk are Cheryl Underwood.
Here we go again.
Amanda Klutz, Natalie Morales, Jerry O'Connell. I don't know why I said O'Connell.
Fall from Grace.
And Akbar, and I'm going to butcher the rest of the name.
Yeah, you did it before when we did this like 4 episodes ago.
Yeah. So,
I'm sorry that you guys got to listen to this again.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you know what? It's in our contract. Every 4 episodes, we have to tell who the current panel of The Talk is. It's like
I know who like most of them. I don't know who Amanda Klutz is. Like I look her up and I'm like I'm completely confused.
I was gonna say I definitely heard that name before, and I think I heard that name before the last time you brought up her name. So.
Yeah, probably. But former hosts were of course Leah Remini, Sarah Gilbert, the lady from Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I am blanking on her name.
Don Lewis?
Oh, hold on. I got it. Julie Chen Mouvez, Sarah Gilbert, Sharon Osbourne, Marissa Jarrett Winokur, Holly Robinson Pete.
Okay. All right.
Aisha Tyler, Eve, Carrie Ann Inaba, Marie Osmond, some woman named Elaine Welthert Roth. I don't know who this is. Yeah.
She won a contest and got to be on The Talk. that's who she is.
She was on for a season and that was it.
Yeah, she was like a trial host. You know, she's like Sarah Gilbert's friend from college. Her friend Elaine, whatever her name was.
So
she dragged her out. Speaking of Fall from Grace, Sarah Gilbert.
Darlene is so annoying on the Connors.
Yeah, she disappointed us. Who would have thought?
I mean,
that, you know what, that I like Becky after all these years.
I don't even like Becky that much. I'm really there because I like Darlene's husband, Ben. I enjoy him.
And like Lori Metcalf.
I enjoy Dan. I enjoy Jackie. And I enjoy Louise.
And like anytime that they bring Beverly back, when they drag her ass back from the nursing home.
Pretty much.
For like 2 scenes here and there.
Okay.
All right. You know what? Who cares about The Talk? Who cares? And Darlene, we don't speak your name anymore. I can't even watch like old clips of Darlene anymore because I just know what she becomes. You would think I'd be like with like Roseanne, but it's more Darlene than anything, to be honest with you.
Really, for real.
Yeah, because like Roseanne's just a crotchety old lady now. Who's just she's just an old lady now. Like who cares? Like
I mean, she's not even alive on the show. They killed her off. So.
Well, I meant in like real life. Like she's just a crotchety old lady now. Yeah. And so it's like, you know what, that eventually happens to everybody. But Darlene's, she's still with it, technically. Like, shouldn't have hit her crotchety stage, but she did.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right. What are we talking about tonight? Fran Drescher, the nanny.
Well, okay, speaking of crotchety old ladies, we start off this episode of The Nanny at the Rosie O'Donnell show before
Yes.
Rosie let the world know all of her opinions all of the time, and back when she was fangirling over Tom Cruise.
And Scott Wolf. She loves Scott Wolf too. She was a big fan of Bailey.
But we also, I just love that this episode starts off with Hugh Grant on the Rosie O'Donnell show.
There's really no setup to the episode. It just literally just shows the outside of wherever they filmed the Rosie O'Donnell show, and then it just Rosie's on the screen. She's on the screen, and then you just see Fran, Maggie, is that her friend's name?
No, it's okay, so it's Fran, her best friend Val, and Gracie, the youngest daughter of Maxwell.
Yeah, it's they're just in the audience. We don't get any setup of them at the house and talking about going to the Rosie O'Donnell show. No, it just starts off it's an episode of the Rosie O'Donnell show.
Yeah, there's nothing about how Fran and Val need to trick Brighton and Maggie into giving up their tickets to do this.
Yeah, so if for whatever reason you just blindly turned on CBS Wednesday, October 9th, 1996 at 8 o'clock without you didn't see a commercial, you don't have TV Guide, you didn't know what tonight's episode of The Nanny was going to be about, and all of a sudden you flip the TV on and Rosie O'Donnell's on your screen it's an episode of the her talk show, you're going to be confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's just there interviewing Hugh Grant.
I looked this up because this is 1996. I was is this post scandal Hugh Grant? And it is. So the Divine Brown scandal, where he gets oral from Divine Brown in a parking lot in LA. This has happened. We're coming out of this. This is post 9 months, and there's even an ad, not really an ad, but a plug-in for whatever movie was coming out. Desperate Measures or Extreme Measures or something. It's that Gene Hackman movie. It's Gene Hackman, Hugh Grant, and it's a hospital thriller. I feel Gene Hackman's an unethical doctor or something.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely remember this movie. I never seen it, but I definitely remember it coming out, and I think it was supposed to be a big movie, but it never was.
Yeah, it would be Extreme Measures. Yeah, because he had 5 movies in 95 come out.
9 months, right?
Yes, which I remember loving. I have not seen it in probably 20-something years.
Hold on, let me guess this one. Is it, it's got a long title, hold on. It's Went Up a Hill, Came Down a Mountain, is that movie?
Yeah, The Englishman Who Went Up a Hill But Came Down a Mountain. This was the year of the long movie titles.
Yes. Menace to Society, whatever you just said a minute ago. I already forgot the name of it. Yeah, I remember that movie. I never seen it, but I remember seeing commercials for it. I would rent a movie, and then they would play the previews before the movie, and it was always that movie for some reason for a good 6 months. And
I mean, obviously, you went and rented 9 months, and then that was also on there.
Yeah, I totally saw 9 months in the theaters. I totally went and saw it. Not gonna lie.
Oh my god. I had to wait for VHS. But this is all. He also did Sense and Sensibility this year. Then he took a 3-year break before he had another movie.
Notting Hill? Is it Notting Hill?
No. Well, Notting Hill was 3 years later, but Mickey Blue Eyes came out first.
Oh, Mickey Blue Eyes. Really? That came out first? I feel
that I saw in the theater.
I thought Mickey Blue Eyes was more recently, 2000s.
No, it was 1999.
I ain't gonna argue it. All right, yeah, so Rosie O'Donnell is interviewing Hugh Grant. Fran Fine is just that obnoxious person in the audience who just shouts out things. She's that girl. She's swooning over Hugh Grant, which I think is kind of wild, especially because we're post scandal Hugh Grant. Is this a an apology tour, maybe? This is they're trying to freshen his image?
Here's the thing. At this point, it's the year, it's a year later, so, yeah, it's a year later. Things have kind of died down. It wasn't, thrown in your face as much then as it could be now, because social media is, everywhere. And I think, I want to say, he did a Jane Austen film. He did 9 months. So he kind of, leaned into that, like, romantic hero type. You know, he's gonna do, like, this one thriller, and then he's gonna go back. And those are basically he's into rom-coms.
Yeah, I feel like we're a more forgiven, like, society in 1996.
Probably.
Honestly, I feel like all these movies were probably already filmed. Like, they were already finished, and then the scandal hit, but they, you know, like, movies, like, sit on a shelf for a little while. There's, like, post-production and stuff. So the studios are probably like, oh, fuck, we have all these Hugh Grant movies coming out, and he's on the cover of, like, The Inquirer every week. We got to do something. So do we call Rosie? Do we call Fran Drescher? Who do we call? Like, how about we call both of them?
He got a double whammy, though, like, really, with, both were beloved by America.
Harping back to Hugh Grant's scandal for a second, wasn't he involved in, like, a wiretap scandal, like, in the last, like, decade? He was, like, taping phone calls of, like, Margaret Thatcher or something.
I don't know. I know celebrities do weird things with phone calls. I don't remember that.
I never understood it. Like, he was, like, under investigation from, like, MI5, maybe? I don't remember. Like, something happened. We'll figure it out. We'll do a true crime episode. Hugh Grant, true crime. Because I feel like he's involved in a lot of crimes.
Oh, okay, so there was a phone hacking expose.
I feel like you're looking this up. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, okay, so this is from Wikipedia. In April 2011, Grant published an article in the New Statesman titled The Bugger Bugged, about a conversation following an earlier encounter with Paul McMullen, a former journalist and paparazzo for News of the World. In unguarded comments which were secretly taped by Grant, McMullen alleged that the editors of the Daily Mail and the News of the World had ordered journalists to engage in illegal phone tapping, and had done so with the full knowledge of the senior British politicians. McMullen also said that every British Prime Minister from Margaret Thatcher onwards had cultivated a close relationship with Rupert Murdoch and his senior executives. So I want to say it's probably the same hacking scandal that where these publications hacked Prince William, Kate Middleton, like when she and William were just dating, and Prince Harry's phones and stuff like that. Like, there's actually, like, a trial about that. Like, there was a hearing about it, like, just last week in England.
Is it as exciting as the Gwyneth Paltrow trial?
That was wild.
That came out of nowhere, huh?
I kept, like, coming across lives of it on TikTok, and I'd be like, why is she, like, moving like this?
Like, I didn't even know this happened, and then all this, like, it wasn't like something that, like, you heard about, and then the trial was, like, months later. Like, literally, like, it just...
Yeah.
The trial popped up, and people were like, what? Like, how did this happen?
Well, she didn't help it, because then she wore, like, the serial killer grandma glasses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know what? I can't wait to see who's going to play her in Ryan Murphy's American Crime Story, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, my God.
Dying to know. Probably what's her name? The girl that's always in it.
Emma Roberts?
Not Emma Roberts. I mean, it could be Emma Roberts. Who's the one that's like, she's in, like, American Horror Story. She's in, like, everything. The lesbian.
I need more here.
I'm drawing a blank on her name, but she's like in all these. She's in all these things. Hold on, give me a second.
You mean Sarah Paulson?
Yeah, Sarah Paulson. The one who's married to Holland Taylor. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she could pull it off. I feel like Sarah Paulson could pull off anybody. Like, she pulled off Linda Tripp.
I mean, she did.
Like, how does that happen?
And that was crazy to watch.
Just throw some prosthetics on her, just spray some Goop perfume on her, some Goop hair gel, and she'll be Gwyneth Paltrow.
I mean, she also portrayed Marcia Clark.
That is true. You know what? Gwyneth Paltrow has been in Ryan Murphy things, because she was in that like school president scandal show that he did on Netflix.
Yeah, she was also on Glee.
Yeah, so yeah, she'll just play herself. Why the fuck not? Ryan Murphy's got the connection.
She is married to one of the other, like, executive producers of Glee.
Okay, yeah, that was her post Coldplay guy hookup, right?
Yes.
Is that a glow up or a glow down?
I don't know.
To be debatable.
Like, really, who knows with Gwyneth Paltrow? She's off doing her own weird thing that she doesn't even remember what movie she's in. I bet you could, like, ask her if she's ever been in a movie with Robert Downey Jr., and she'd be like, no.
Yeah, because she did,
No, I've never worked with Robert Downey Jr.
she didn't know she was in the Spider-Man movies. Like, she had no idea. Like, she just shows up on set and they just give her a script. And then she goes back to her trailer and just makes vagina-scented candles.
Like, she didn't know she was in one of, like, the Avenger movies or something. She's like, what? No.
Like, she's barely even, like, maybe she's, like, in Iron Man 2 a lot, but she's, like, hardly in the other movies at all. Like, she just, like, pops up as Pepper Potts.
Yeah.
And then she goes back to her trailer and makes a vagina-scented candle.
And drinks her bone broth.
Yeah, her bone broth. Ugh, what a fucking weird lady. What a weird fucking lady. All right, Fran Fine is like shouting at Hugh Grant in the audience, and then like Rosie stops her talk show and like goes into the audience. She's like, "Who said that? You're funny," and then just like hires her on the spot.
Okay, so what happened? This is what happened. Like, Rosie's done with Hugh. She's about to bring out another guest. And she gets, like, this note from one of, like, the PAs. And it's like, your kid won't fall asleep.
Oh, yeah.
And Fran, like, yells out, put on C-SPAN. He'll be asleep in 2 minutes. And Rosie's like, yeah, let's do that. And then she goes out into the audience and is like, who said that? Who said that? And she starts interviewing Fran.
Yeah, and, like, Fran's just being a quirky, usual self. And, like, in the middle of the show, she's like, all right. You go to my dressing room after the show. I'll meet you back there. Which is like just a weird place to send somebody, by the way. Not like, is there a green room you can go to? No, it's go to my personal dressing room.
Yeah, like, I would think, like, a green room, or maybe, like, there's gotta be, like, an office or something.
Go to the craft services area. Like, how do you just get, like, can you just walk off, like, the set and just be like, hey, yeah, I'm here to go to Rosie O'Donnell's dressing room? And then she, like, pokes through her shit, like, while she's in there.
I mean, like, she would send a PA. She would totally send a PA to do something like that.
Oh, yeah, like, yeah. But anyway, so she, like, goes, her, Val, and Gracie, is that her name? The little one?
Yes.
All right, so they go back to Rosie's dressing room, and they're like, Fran's, like, poking through her shit. She's like, oh, my God, she really does shop at Kmart.
This is peak Rosie and Penny Kmart commercials.
Yes, really weird too. That was a weird time in America.
Some of those just popped up on my TikTok feed the other day.
One of those commercials?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it in so long. Rosie O'Donnell has such a strange career. Like, her career trajectory, like, I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know what she does now, but like she's still...
She makes TikToks.
Like, she's trying to be controversial, right? Like, she's trying to...
Yeah, that's what she's been doing since, like, before she got on The View.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Like, this talk show ended, she stopped being America's sweetheart.
Yeah, she got a stick up her ass.
Yeah, she had the, like, Queen of Nice thing going, and then she dropped it. And then Ellen tried to take over, but Ellen was notoriously a bitch behind the scenes. And there were rumors about it for years.
Like, my favorite era of Rosie O'Donnell is, like, Rosie and Madonna being friends. Like, that's the best, like, the only acceptable of Rosie O'Donnell era.
I mean, like, there's, like, this sweet little era where she was making movies, and then she started doing the talk show, and then it's just downhill from there.
Not funny. Like, I never really thought she was funny. Like, I never really watched her talk show. I just didn't really care for it. I just remember the koosh ball, like, slingshot that she'd sling koosh balls into the audience.
Yes, like, I was actually, like, watching for her to do that in this episode.
And she does it. She does it.
Yeah.
It happens. Blew my mind. Yeah, so she hires Fran, and, like, she's going to come by once a week, and she's going to do, like, a parental advice column on the show, where she'll answer, like...
Yeah.
People will write in letters to the Rosie O'Donnell show, and then she'll, like, answer these letters. And, like, there's... The funniest joke of this episode, it's jumped ahead a little scenes, but it's Fran doing Rosie's show, and Rosie's reading the letter, and she's like, so my husband wants to breastfeed. I don't know what to do. And Fran's like,
wants me to breastfeed. I refuse to do it.
Yeah, so she's like, what should I do? And Fran's like, why don't you have a baby first? It's like, whoa.
Right?
Whoa, scandalous for like 8 o'clock on CBS. Like, this is a family show. I guess this episode must take place over the course of like a month or two, because...
Yeah, it takes place over like at like a couple months, I would say, because first, Fran isn't gonna tell Maxwell she got it. She's like gonna break it to him because she's oh so important as a nanny. Like, really, she's just there so like Maxwell doesn't have to deal with the kids.
Yeah, she goes to like parent-teacher conferences for the dad. She I don't know, takes the kids to like the movies and stuff, or
like she's there so that there's like an adult they can go to. But like, let's be real, Gracie's what, 9, 10 at this point? She's not like a little kid who needs like constant adult supervision.
Yeah, and like that one girl from 90210 is like a teenager now.
Brayden's 13, 14. Maggie's like 16, 17. So Maggie needs some supervision, but...
Oh, yeah, because she's like sneaking out and stuff. Like,
oh, yeah.
Hanging out with boys.
But like, it would be way worse.
She's got a hickey on her neck in this episode.
Yes, and Fran's like, you think you can cover that up with pressed powder?
No, she's like, you gotta use an oil-based concealer.
Yes.
It's not like Fran like cooks, like prepares meals, and like helps out with chores.
Nope, that's all Niles.
There to be an adult, but she's like not really a reliable adult, to be honest. Like, she's, you know what?
Okay, so like, this is the way I see Fran. She's like a mix between Tony Maselli and like half a dozen other like TV housemaids and housekeepers and stuff.
I feel like her motherly nanny traits just comes from like what she knows from television, like how she feels like a mother should act. And she's like quirky.
Oh, 100%.
She tries to be like the friend more than the adult figure. Mm-hmm. She's more interested in her image.
Yes, she is.
She's gonna have the nice clothes. She meets Maxwell Sheffield. She's like a door-to-door, like cosmetics, like Mary Kay kind of girl that just goes like door-to-door and tries to get people to buy makeup. And like that's how she ends up in the house.
Wow. And
somehow accidentally ends up talking herself into a job.
Like literally accidentally.
And Cece, like what is Cece to Maxwell? I can't like business advisor or something.
Okay, so Cece is like Maxwell's business partner. She helps him get the financing for the shows they want to produce on Broadway.
Obviously, like infatuated with him.
So Cece comes from like old money. So she has like a lot of like social connections in the New York social scene. Maxwell is British, so he kind of needed that in with that social scene. He always is competing with Andrew Lloyd Webber, who's far more successful than Maxwell ever will be, because he's Andrew Lloyd Webber and he gave us Phantom, Miss Saigon, Cats.
All that stuff. Fiddler, maybe. No, not Fiddler.
All that, like...
Did he do Fiddler?
What was it?
Did he do Fiddler?
I don't think so.
No, I feel like Fiddler was like way older. Like that's been around for a long time.
Yeah, no,
it's just a play I knew. The Lion King.
Notable works are Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, Jesus Christ Superstar, Evita, Cats, Starlight Express, The Phantom of the Opera, Sunset Boulevard, School of Rock.
Oh, who knew? I forgot there was a School of Rock musical.
I don't even know what's on like Broadway half the time now. It's not like when I was growing up and I got the commercials like all the time.
It's like Mean Girls. There's like a Alanis Morissette one, like Jagged Little Pill musical. Like Green Day has one.
I do want to see the Green Day one if it's ever touring again.
American Idiot, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay. What? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Who cares? All right. Let's just get back to the episode. We got a lot to cover. We got a lot to cover.
So Val does tell
everybody.
Like everybody. And
the whole town shows up to the house.
Like all her family and friends show up, and they're like, "Congratulations, Fran!" And she's like, "Oh, I didn't want this to come out this way. I didn't want to like big scene." And they're like, "Maxwell's not here," and she's like, "Okay, picture time." And Maxwell like walks in behind her
as she takes a selfie on like a Polaroid camera.
Yeah, like all kind like there's just a bunch of pictures being snapped. It's amazing. And he's like, "Congratulations, Fran." And she's like, "Wait, you're not mad?" He's like, "I'm not." She's like, "But I won't be here." He's like, You're cool, Fran. It's like, it's okay. You really don't do that much around the house. I think there is definitely a point where he kept her around because he's like, I really don't need her anymore.
Yeah, he just wanted to look at her.
And it drives Cece crazy.
Oh, yeah, because, so, like, there's a scene...
And it gives Niles somebody to talk to.
There's a scene, Fran goes into Maxwell's office, and Cece's in there, but, like, Fran's not in there yet, and Cece's, like, unbuttoning, like, the top 2 buttons of her blouse, because she's gonna kind of, like, seduce Maxwell, and she, like, leans in to kind of, like... touch him, but he quickly moves out of the way when Fran walks in the door, and she just like falls on the ground, like face plants on the ground.
Like he's not even paying attention to like know that's like he knows Cece's been hitting on him for like before his wife died.
He's oblivious. Well, not oblivious, but he's like seeming oblivious because he doesn't
react to Cece hitting on him.
Yeah, because you know what, that would just make things work. So he's like, if I just play coy, it'll work out better for me. Like he had a scheme, he had a plan, and really, he really had his eyes for Franny Fine, the nanny in red when everyone else wears tan.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, Charles Shaughnessy is like hot. He's still hot.
What's he on, like General Hospital or something now?
He's on General Hospital right now as Victor Cassadine.
But he had like other like TV shows in between, though, right? Like he was in Mad Men. He's done episodes of Mad Men, The Magicians.
He's done Days of Our Lives. He did Days of Our Lives Beyond Salem, the first one.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because Days of Our Lives is really kind of where he got his start as Shane Donovan. He was on Days of Our Lives a little bit in the last few years. He did the Beyond Salem, but then he got the role on General Hospital, so he's not on Days of Our Lives right now because I think he's contracted General Hospital.
He also guest starred on the TV Land show that Fran Drescher did.
Oh yeah, I think like Fran is good about bringing in her former co-stars whenever possible.
Yeah, she keeps her stable of friends.
Yeah,
keeps them employed, happily employed. All right, yeah, so we get like a rise of stardom with Fran. Like we kind of get like quick clips of like over the weeks. It's like she's making appearances, like public appearances. She's doing like signings, like autograph signings. I don't know, Entertainment Tonight. Like people are into this. Like she's
yeah, people are into her. They love her. They're down with Fran Fine, and then like she's going out to all these parties and she's name dropping, but not like, it's kind of like not intentional name dropping kind of the way she does it. She's like, oh, I'm just going out with, this person, and we're going to where are we going? Oh, never mind. I don't want to drop names. It's like
she name drops Keanu, Courtney, who I assumed was Courtney Love, and Kira. Is Kira Sedgwick maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, that's if it's not Courtney Love, it was Courtney Cox.
I think it was Courtney Love because around this time, Keanu Reeves and Courtney Love did a movie together.
I think so too.
Feeling Minnesota, I think it was called.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was kind of like an indie film, but it was kind of like Rolling Stone was into it, and like all the magazines were like.
Yeah, with Cameron Diaz was in it.
Yeah, so I think this was kind of like around that time. So she was starting to become like a bankable star.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Courtney Cox was like famous around this time, but she wasn't like a red carpet girl. And this is when like we got like Hollywood glam era Courtney Love. Like we're knee deep in Courtney Love's like rise to Hollywood glam now. So like it was definitely Courtney Love. Yeah. I believe that. But I'm like Kira Sedgwick maybe, but I can't really think of what Kira Sedgwick would be doing around this time. Was she married to Kevin Bacon yet?
Yeah, I think so.
She's riding the Bacon train.
Like.
Oh, she did the movie Phenomenon with John Travolta this year.
She's actually not in as much stuff as I thought she would be in with like how big her name really is.
All right. So she did Something to Talk About, Phenomenon. Those were the two big ones. And then she was in something called The Low Life and something called Murder in the First. I can't recall exactly what they were, but definitely Phenomenon, I think, would have been the big one.
You were forgetting her best movie ever, Singles.
Yeah, but this was 1992.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like we.
I just had to mention it.
Oh, I know.
I had to mention it. I had to mention it.
Good callback. Callback to like 20 other episodes. If we're not talking about the panel on the talk, we're talking about the Cameron Crowe film Singles.
Oh,
which
her IMDb is way longer than I thought it was.
Yeah, like she does things.
She does stuff. I just feel like we don't see her in I don't feel like she's in like a ton of stuff.
I don't know. She's in like at least like 5 seasons of The Closer.
Well, yeah.
She got a recurring role in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She had another TV show.
As one,
like recently, 10 Days in the Valley on ABC. It was on for at least a few years. I don't know if you remember it.
Okay.
It was like her daughter disappears, and then like she's trying to solve, like she's a TV writer maybe, and her daughter disappears like in the middle of like her show being this big hit, and so she has to keep up the appearances of doing this TV show, but also like solve the disappearance of her daughter, because I guess I think the police fumble the case. I feel like that happens. There's at least 2 years. At least 2 years. Actually, according to Wikipedia, it was a vehicle for Demi Moore.
Oh.
But she left the project and replaced with Kira. And it was only on for 10 episodes. I feel like this is on a lot longer, but I guess not. Not.
10 episodes sounds about right.
I definitely watched it. I definitely watched all 10 episodes. And I thought there were more. All right, so things are kind of falling apart around the house. The teenage boy's getting detention.
Yeah, so Fran has Cece is managing Fran. And so Fran's getting meet and greet kind of things and appearances, and she's just going out and being seen so that she's in the papers and all that kind of stuff. And she's partying with Donald Trump.
Yeah, all right. We have to bring this up. So, Fran and Maxwell are they're having a semi-serious conversation in the foyer area of the house, not quite the living room, but it has a couch in there. I think maybe at least a couch.
There's a spot to sit down to take your shoes off kind of thing.
So there's a ring at the doorbell. In comes Donald Trump, and he doesn't only has one line in this episode. Fran starts to introduce, she calls him Donnie first of all, then she gives him a big hug and a kiss because she's going to be going out with Donald Trump. First of all, I feel if he came to pick her up, he would not go to the door. He would just pull up in his limo,
yeah,
and the driver would come up and knock on the doorbell and be Miss Fine, the eagle has landed, I guess is what he might say. And then Fran would leave.
I mean, probably.
Donald Trump comes into the house, and Fran starts to introduce Trump to Maxwell, but she's oh no, of course you guys know each other. You're both zillionaires.
And then Maxwell introduces himself to Donald on the sly. It's great.
And then Donald Trump's cell phone rings. And he pulls it out of his coat pocket, and he's I told you not to call me on this line. And he puts the phone back into his coat pocket, and then another phone rings and he pulls it out from a different pocket, and he's that's better.
Yes, it's great. I love that. It's just, to me, that screamed 90s celebrity, because cell phones weren't that big of a thing. Not everybody had a cell phone in 1996, let alone 2.
What were you thinking the gist of the phone conversation was? I'm thinking there was a mistress calling, he called the main line. And that's the number that are we in Ivanka time? Who
You're getting it? Well, Ivanka's the daughter.
Ivana. I don't know. Marla Maples maybe.
Yeah, they're married at this point.
Okay, so Marla Maples is back at home, and I feel the mistress is calling.
Oh, that, or it's this is the line the kids are supposed to call one line or something, and they it's totally Donald Trump Jr. calling the wrong line. He's no, I told you this is the business line. If you need me, you call this line. Oh,
he needed hush money. You know what? Donald Trump Jr. got arrested, and he needed hush money to keep this under wraps.
Probably.
Let's be real. That's probably what the phone call was about. Hugh Grant was probably wiretapping the main line, and he's no, you can't call this phone. I don't know. Who knows? So yeah, so that's the weird Donald Trump connection to the show.
This just random moment that just happened. Donald Trump just shows up.
Yeah, I guess.
But to be fair to this show, in 1996, New York celebrity Donald Trump is it.
Oh yeah, he was always on the Stern show.
So, like, I feel like that has to be reminded of people because they have so much vitriol for him.
Yeah, he's in like Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. Like we get like a cameo. Even like
and he's the hero of that movie.
Yeah. And then was it like Good Morning America was filmed at the Trump Plaza Hotel.
He's also in Little Rascals, the movie Little Rascals.
He is. He's also on the cover of probably this week's National Enquirer too, let's be real. Like something was going on.
I mean, probably right next to Meghan Markle.
In 1996?
Well, not 1996, but she wishes.
Oh, today?
Today,
oh.
yes.
1990. Meghan Markle was like 12 in 1996. Why would she be on the National Enquirer?
Okay. In 1996, Meghan Markle was 15 years old like us.
Yeah, why would she be on the cover of National Enquirer?
She would have been back then. In her mind, she might have been, because she's so delusional about her own skills and grandeur and accomplishments. But
what was she like that when she was 16?
Yes, she was. From what her friends said, she always
How do you?
She thinks that she's changed a whole national soap campaign, like dish soap campaign, based on one letter she wrote to the company.
Oh yeah, I did watch that documentary.
Yeah.
There's like a video clip of her when she was in like 8th grade, and she said she was going to marry a prince someday or something. Is it there something like that?
Something crazy like that. Yeah, she's a hot mess.
You know what? I love drone suits. Not gonna lie.
Like, if I had to say who's more delusional, Donald Trump or Meghan Markle, that's a hard choice.
Ooh, I don't know. This could be a tie. This could be a tiebreaker.
I mean, to be fair, that like Donald Trump hit the level that Meghan Markle wants to be at.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But you know what? Donald Trump has more experience of being delusional. Meghan Markle's she's an up-and-comer delusion.
She's still climbing that social ladder of delusion.
Yeah, she's still got her training wheels on. No, you know what? The training wheels are off. She's got like the when you lift the training wheels up a little bit, they're not actually touching the ground.
Yes, but they're there to catch you if you fall.
Yeah, if you take a sharp turn. So, Fran goes out with Donald Trump that night. I want to know where they went. Yeah,
I would love to know where they would go. It's too late to be Studio 54.
Was Nobu open yet?
I don't know. I don't know what I can't think of what the hot 90s place to go was in New York, off the top of my head.
I don't really think there was one in particular. I don't know.
I don't know. Where did Robert or John Kennedy Jr. go all the time? That's probably where they were at.
Probably a bunch of whorehouses. Like little classy whorehouses.
Oh my goodness.
The back office of George.
But either way, so Fran is hobnobbing with the rich and famous, right? And the kid, Maggie's sneaking out with boys, Brighton's getting into trouble, and Gracie just misses her, is basically it. And
yeah, Gracie doesn't do anything. She just stays at home. You know what? Gracie has no one to take her to taping of TV shows anymore. That's really her problem. She wanted to go to The Price is Right is in New York City this weekend, and she wanted to go see it.
Right. Niles is still trying to figure out what went on between Fran and Maxwell, and there's this moment. This great moment where Niles actually nails it, and he's like, "No, you wouldn't be that stupid." He's like, "Oh my God, you told Miss Fine you love her, and then you took it back." And then he's like, "No, you're not that stupid." It was great.
Prior to that, though, there's a weird fourth wall breaking moment where it's briefly acknowledged, and we get a freeze frame, and then this text pops up on the screen, which is just a quick summary of what happened.
Oh yes, this great summary of what the thing is that Niles doesn't know. I forgot about that. It was a great moment.
And I was trying to figure out why that came up. Did the show get preempted for something, maybe? Or maybe there was some presidential, maybe not a debate, but a campaign special might have preempted the show for a few weeks, so they felt the need to put this in?
Or something, or maybe they're just hey, maybe you haven't dropped in, because this is before TiVo, this is before On Demand, you had to VHS it.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because serialized television wasn't really a thing back then. like storylines pretty much were resolved. Like you might have like a two-parter, but it would definitely like there'd be a clear-cut like to be continued at the end of the episode. It wouldn't just like carry over to the next episode.
There might be things that like are ongoing relationship-wise, but it's not like whatever the issue is, it's going to be wrapped up within half hour, maybe an hour. So I think that's why.
So for whatever reason, they like felt the need to throw this in there. I don't know. So we also kind of get like a weird side story involving Fran's like mother. Is that her mother? I don't even know who the fuck this lady is.
Okay, so it's her mother and her grandmother. And they come over because the grandmother has had a dream that something terrible happened to Maxwell and they want to check on him. This man is like your straight-laced English dude. He has relaxed a lot over the last 4 seasons, but he's still like, he does not always know how to take these wild Jewish ladies who are just like freaking out about something. And he's like, he wants Fran to quit the show because he wants her back at the house with him, but he's not going to admit that he loves her again because he already took it back once.
Fran's grandmother has a dream that Bubby Sophie comes to her in the dream. And they don't even, like, they don't make a reference. Like, I was confused by this. So, like, they don't say who Bubby Sophie is. I was like, it must be, like, the great-grandmother or, like, something, or, like, some relative. But, like, I had to Google it because I'm like, is this, like, a psychic that, like, maybe, like, a celebrity psychic of the time that I just don't know about? Because they name drop Bubby Sophie, like, dozens of times in this episode.
Yeah.
And when I Googled it, the only reference that came up was to this episode of The Nanny. It's, like, the only time it ever got brought up in the show, apparently, or from what I could tell.
Like...
So, anyway, it's what's her name from Dick Van Dyke plays
the one who played Millie, yes.
Yeah, the one who played Millie Harper plays Fran's grandmother.
Yeah.
And so she comes in and she describes to Maxwell that something horrible is going to happen to him. He's gonna be in a horrible accident. He's gonna go to like kiss Fran at the door and then like trip over an ottoman. And everyone else is like, that's just like that's the opening theme song to Dick Van Dyke Show.
And she's like, well, yeah. Then it's great. She looks in the mirror. She's like, there's Millie.
Yeah.
It's fabulous. I loved it. Like, the TV nerd that I am loved that moment, though.
So fucking weird, though, because...
You know, but it was so weird.
It took me a minute to make the connection, though, because I'm like, why is this coming up? And then when she looked in the mirror and she said, oh my god, it's Millie. What are you doing here? And I was like, oh my god, that's Millie.
For real, though, like, yes. It's a great little, like, nod to those in the know. Because 1996 is kind of like, I want to say, peak Dick Van Dyke on Nick at Night era.
It's, like, widely accessible still at this time. It's, like, rerun heavily.
So, like, you're going to get maybe some more people are going to, like, click and it's going to, like, make sense. It's not like if you had done it in 1989, like, the audience is going to be like, what is this? What is this show? Nobody knows this show. It's not on TV. You know what I mean?
They're not going to do it today, obviously, because you and I will be the only two who get it.
We would be.
All right, so...
I'd be like, oh my god, this great thing happened on TV last night. All my friends would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
So, Maxwell's kind of, like, intrigued by this Bubby Sophie idea. And so he's like, wait, these old Jewish gals, they seem to be really, like, taken by, like, a dead relative visiting them in their dreams. Like, they believe that's, like, an omen, like a sign. Like, they have to listen to this vision in their dream. So, like, Fran's out canoodling with Donald Trump, and she gets home late. So, like, Maxwell's, like, pacing, like, his bedroom, and he's, like, just kind of, like, keeping his ear to the door, like, listening for when she comes home. Because she probably makes a lot of noise when she comes in, let's be real.
Yes, let's be real. Like, so, okay, here's the thing. Like, you can be trying not to make noise when you come home late at night, and you just do. Like,
yeah, like, the keys are jingling way too loud or something.
Because the house is dead quiet, you know? Like, the house is quiet, and, like, all you have to do is, like... accidentally knock your purse against something and it's going to make a noise for everybody to hear.
Yeah, the dogs bark or something, an alarm goes off.
Like, trust me, when I come home at night, the dogs freak out.
Maxwell is like, he's got his ear to the door. He's just like pacing, waiting for Fran to come home. He's in like his rich man silk pajamas. And he hears all the noise, all the commotion. So he's like, all right, that's my cue. So he like shuts off the light, hops into bed, and he makes this like very questionable moaning noise, which like just sounded.
Yeah.
It didn't sound like he was having a bad dream. It sounded like he was doing something else. And Fran's immediate reaction is to just run into the room and like hop in the bed, like with him.
Yes, like she hears the noise in Max's room, and she's like, "I'm in there. I got it."
Yeah, and she doesn't just like turn on the light and go like, what's going on, or like knock. She just runs in there and just like jumps in the bed. Like he could have been in there with somebody.
Oh, that would have been a whole other reaction, let's be real.
She wakes him up from his fake sleep, and she's like, what's going on? And he's like, oh my God, I had this like horrible dream. And we get like a weird like cutscene of Bubby Sophie. And it's just like Fran in like weird like goth girl makeup. Like, I don't even know how to describe this scene.
It's like ghost makeup.
Yeah, it's like...
It's very, like, what it reminded me of when I saw it was very, like, Dickens Ghost of Christmas Future kind of thing.
Yeah, I was thinking of Bill Murray Scrooged. like the ghosts in that movie.
Yes, like that kind of thing. Like, it's just, like, that kind of aesthetic. And he's telling her this bad dream that's like he used Fiddler on the roof as his basis of like Fran, you gotta like, I got this message from Bubby Sophie. You need to stop working it. And Fran's like, I don't listen to Bubby Sophie. I'm like the only one who doesn't buy into it.
Yeah, she's like, if it was Streisand though, I would have listened.
Yeah.
So now
even later Niles is like, I told you should have gone with Barbara.
Yeah, so now Maxwell is trying to like concoct a scheme to like somehow involve Barbara Streisand. So like we're getting like references to like Yenta. What is it? Yenta?
I think so. Yenta. Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I just don't know. I just don't.
I don't either. I never watched Streisand movies. So he's trying to concoct up a plan with Niles, and like in comes Fran, and she's like, oh, don't worry, I quit. Like, you don't have to worry anymore. And she kind of just talks about like how she really wanted to be there for the kids and all this stuff. And then like everyone leaves the room, and Niles is like, you got fired. She's like, oh yeah, I got fired.
She's like, they found this like
I got replaced.
This is the best part.
Couple from Florida who do restaurant reviews. This is like the second best part of the episode.
And it's Fran's real life parents. It's Fran's real life parents.
And they're sitting up on like a like it's like a videotape of them, and they're like holding up like a menu to like a restaurant in Florida, and they're like, there's a good all you can eat special on Thursdays, $10.95 all you can eat. On Fridays it's like fish fry night. Saturdays it's all you can eat pasta. And Fran got bumped for that, which I feel like they both could have been on the show. Let's be real.
Yeah, like they could have. You know what? Rosie was over Fran, but she was into this old couple now, and
yeah,
that's how it is.
Well, you know what, Rosie, we eventually we'll know that she's not really a nice gal. So yeah. So she got sick of her.
You know what's going to happen after this, Patrick? I'm going to go onto TikTok, and the first video is going to be like Rosie O'Donnell.
It probably will be.
That, right?
Yeah, because your phone's listening to you right now. Do you know what, yes. Like, Conspiracy Corner, I really think that, like, in this world, this version of Rosie O'Donnell was jealous of Fran, because I feel like her star power was probably getting...
Oh, yeah, there was probably talk at the network or with the producers to do, like, a show with Fran.
Yeah, like you know what, like...
And Rosie, like, was like, hell no.
Yeah, like, following the Rosie show, it's going to be, like, the Fran Fine show. Like, she'll get her own little... They're going to get rid of Gabrielle Carteris' talk show.
Yeah, it'd be Fran instead of Mike and Maddie. Or Marty, whatever it was.
Yeah, so Fran's fired. She's back in the house. She ain't going anywhere. The kids are okay now. She's going to be the parental figure, father figure, mother figure, whatever. And that's pretty much the episode. But then, hold on.
Oh, it gets better. It gets better.
Hold on. So for like the closing credits, we get the overlay, and it's literally like a reenactment of an episode of Dick Van Dyke. It's like
Yes.
Fran is Mary Tyler Moore,
Mm-hmm.
Maxwell is Dick Van Dyke, and his like it's spot on. Like his mannerisms. Like he has the facial expressions, like even the way he stands and like kind of like crouches over a little bit. Fran's doing like the Mary tears.
Which is funny because he technically really doesn't have to next to Fran, but he did it.
Yeah, Fran's doing the Mary tears, like the kind of like fake crying. Yeah.
That thing. Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
it's great.
It's great. It's fabulous. I loved it.
Probably the best part of the episode, even though I said the other things were the best parts of the episode.
Okay, for people like us, I think this was the absolute best episode we could have watched.
Yeah, as I said, it's a time capsule.
Because it hit all these little things for us that no other episode could have.
Yeah, it kind of like,
Yeah,
it's even though like we hated Dharma and Greg last week, it checked off like the boxes that we should have talked about because we get Seinfeld references, so I was okay with that.
Yeah, but
even though it was a shitty show. Yeah, I you know what? I think I apologize to Fran Drescher for saying that. I don't know if your show holds up all these years later.
Yeah,
Fran,
we're
maybe
sorry.
not all the episodes.
I'm not going to immediately go and binge watch it, but the next time I need a break from like Criminal Minds, I might put that on instead of News Radio.
Yeah. What the thing is? I think the earlier seasons of The Nanny are better. The show kind of went downhill with like the wedding and stuff when Fran eventually marries Maxwell.
Yeah, like here's the thing.
Like it killed the show.
Like once they get married, she's not the nanny anymore. She's the wife. She's the stepmom. It's a very different dynamic.
Yeah, and she's even come out like in recent years and said it like that. Like her regret of the show was like pushing for this to happen. I think like the network pushed for it. They wanted like because like the will they won't they thing. They kind of wanted that to will they they want it to happen. And yeah, like Fran, I think was kind of like against it, but whatever. It's
well, I mean, okay.
Guess it's not her.
Like if there's one other show that is comparable to The Nanny, it would be Who's the Boss.
Yes, and that kind of fumbled too.
And like when you think about how they dragged out Tony and Angela compared to Max and Maxwell and Fran, I cannot call him Max. He's gonna be Maxwell. Like,
oh yeah,
but it's just the shows like they have a very very similar premise deep down, which is funny because Fran Fine was on like a hopeful spinoff of Who's the Boss. But
that was it Living Dolls?
Oh my god, Patrick. And you give me crap about not remembering what we've done or not.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. That's it was the one where she pretended to be the like the Italian lady to be like the spokesperson for like a pasta sauce or something.
Yeah, but they wanted the blonde instead.
Oh, what a show. What a show. And like we weren't sure if they actually like if it went to series because IMDb has a page for it.
Yeah.
But like there's no like other recollection of the show like on the internet, so like no one actually knows it. Like, well, we don't know if it exists or not.
I feel like they probably filmed 2 episodes and then the network was like, yeah, no, we're not.
Yeah, we're out. We're out.
Like this didn't work. You worked for that one episode of Who's the Boss?
I'm gonna ask the age-old question. I just need to know. I just need a number on a scale of 1 out of 5. Flung koosh balls. How many flung koosh balls would you rate this episode? Because I think, based on the way I didn't watch the episode till like 2 hours before we recorded. So, and you watched this like days ago.
In all honesty, I did not watch this until this morning because that's when I started texting you about it.
Okay, well, I was getting a lot of like texts like of references, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I haven't even watched this yet. Based on your response to the text that I got earlier today, I'm going to say we're going to get a Rear Cat 5 tonight. I feel like we're getting a Rear Cat 5.
I'm going to give it a 4.
Plot twist. I'm going to give it a 4 also. That was kind of like my grade too.
It's got all these great, like, random things. It was totally enjoyable to watch. It was 100% enjoyable to watch. Like...
Yeah, it's like it was a time capsule for me of the time.
It was very enjoyable to watch. Like, it was a major contrast to Dharma and Greg, too. And I think that's also part of why it was more enjoyable, because the last one we watched for the podcast was so bad.
Was a dud. It was 100% a dud. Like
that was
Dudley Do Wrong right there.
like, seriously, how did Dharma and Greg last as long as it did? I completely get how the nanny lasted. Like, Fran and Charles have insanely amazing chemistry. Like, you've got this great character in Niles. Even Cece has her moments. The kids have good moments here and there.
They're hit or miss.
The oldest daughter comes from an acting family, so it's not like...
The oldest daughter bugged me because she was, what's her name? Sue Scanlon on 90210, so I was like, ugh, like, her again.
Oh, really? Was she?
Yeah. You don't remember that? That's like all I remember from the show was
really?
That it was the return of Sue Scanlon. Yeah.
Like, I don't even remember who Sue Scanlon was.
All right, remember David Silver's friend, Scott Scanlon? The one who, like, offed himself? The one who unalived himself, as the kids say today?
Oh, okay. No, well, like, she was in the Beethoven movies.
Beethoven 1 and Beethoven 2.
And, her older sister is Heather Tom from the soaps. Yeah, Bold and Beautiful, where she currently plays Katie. And then her brother, David, has done the soaps too. He was on Young and the Restless back in the 2000s as Billy. And then he was on One Life to Live, All My Children, during that like crazy baby swap crossover thing back in the day, when Heather Tom was also on One Life to Live.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay, well, I guess.
Yeah.
Good for them for all having the acting bugs. They're like the Smullets of 1996.
With far less scandals.
That we know of. I'm sure there's a scandal out there, we just don't know about it. We can dig one up. I'm sure Hugh Grant has some audio tape, some recorded phone calls about this.
I mean, you know who probably does? Soleil Moon Frye.
Oh, because they were young actors, so she definitely would have recorded phone calls. Yeah.
Yeah, like if anybody has the tea on anybody from this era,
yeah,
it would be Soleil, because she recorded all her phone calls for like 20 years.
Yeah, maybe the older daughter from The Nanny, maybe she went on a date with Jonathan Brandis.
It's what prompts you to do that? I don't understand.
Because she cray-cray. I don't know. She kind of weird. I follow her Instagram. She's a little out there. A little too...
You did send me one the other day, and I was like...
it's her and Melissa Joan Hart, like, frolicking.
Yeah.
At what I wished was... Knott's Berry Farm, but I don't think it was Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah, it's probably one of those 90s conventions.
Because there was just a 90s con like a week or two ago, I think.
Yeah.
We got, you know what was the shining star of 90s con for me? It was that they got all the Charmed girls back together except for Alyssa Milano. So I appreciated that.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, because I saw they were getting the Charmed girls back together, and I was like, Shannon better be there, and she was there. I could have done without Rose McGowan, but she doesn't bother me as much as Alyssa Milano.
Yeah, no, Alyssa Milano just irritates the heck out of me. I'm like, will you stop talking now? But you know, Holly Berry Combe does a podcast with the guy who played Leo and then the guy who played their good son.
I did not know they did a podcast here. Is it a Charmed rewatch show, or is it?
Yes, like I see literally before we started recording this, the last thing on my TikTok was video from their podcast.
So is it them rewatching Charmed, or they just like talk about other shit?
Yeah, they're rewatching Charmed and like going through stuff. And
I can't do these like celebrity like rewatching their old shows podcasts. I just can't do it for some reason. I don't know why. I'd rather like just like nobody's talk about it. Like people like us, like we're more qualified to talk about it.
Like, it doesn't work for me.
They have an unfair advantage because they have access. They have access to scripts and stuff that we don't have access to.
Oh my god.
So, you know what? It's really just rage. I'm really just jealous. Next week. Are we gonna do the thing that I sent you earlier in the week, or are we gonna do something different?
I mean, we could do that thing you sent me. I haven't watched it yet.
If you listened to last week's episode, I said we have to do a game show, and I'll find a weird game show. And I found a weird game show from the 80s. It's a show called... It has Alex Trebek on it. He hosts it. It has Roddy, whatever his name is, as the announcer. It's a show called Battle Stars, and it basically was like a daytime game show, I think, and they have like celebrities of the time, and then like people that were famous in like the 60s and 70s, and they come on and they like compete against each other. But I found an episode that has Betty White on it, and I watched a short clip of it, and she this is right before Mama's Family came out, because she plugs the series premiere of Mama's Family like in the short clip that I watched of it. Yeah, like she said it was coming out. Like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so there is.
Oh my gosh.
That's because like Alex is like, I hear you got big news, Betty. I'm like, oh, this is probably like her plug-in Golden Girls, and she's like, yeah, starting in the fall, I'm going to be on a new show called Mama's Family, and I was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that one. So it kind of ties into an episode that we did a few months ago. So everything's connected. All right.
I love when that happens.
Any last minute thoughts on the Nanny before we float out into the ether?
Like I said, it was just fun to watch.
If you want to watch it, you can watch it on HBO Max with no commercials, so you can just get through it in like 22 minutes. And
then it's on Tubi, Tubby, whatever it is.
I believe it's called Tubi. I call it Tubi.
I always want to call it Tubby, and I don't know why.
You thinking of the Teletubbies?
Probably.
Tinky Winky over there. Which probably was out around this time in 1996. Probably just hit the airwaves.
Yeah, like, it's not the phenomenon yet, but...
It's climbing the ranks of shitty television shows for children. Not even children, like preschoolers.
Oh, Teletubbies actually started in 1997.
Oh, so like it's in pre-production right now. It's like they're probably filming episodes.
The first episode aired in the U.S. April 6, 1998.
Oh yeah, so we're like months away. We're months away from the world premiere of the Teletubbies. So, like, Bananas and Pajamas is probably out around this time then.
Dude, the Bananas and Pajamas theme song came up on my TikTok last night.
Oh, God. They're coming down the stairs, coming down in pairs.
I'll sing it sometimes, and Axton will look at me like I'm out of my mind.
I don't even know what that show was. I don't think I want to know. I don't think anyone...
I don't either. We were too old for it, but we knew the theme song.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this was like something my sister definitely watched, was Bananas. No, she was a Barney girl. Like, Bananas and Pajamas was way too late for her.
I mean, Bananas and Pajamas was 1992.
Yeah, maybe she did then. I don't know. I definitely it definitely was on in a TV in my house at one point in time, and I definitely hated it. I definitely was like, what the fuck is this? What am I watching? It's like this is like a cult for children.
I mean, that's like most of their shows today. That
we need to get that girl who escaped NXIVM, who does the NXIVM like expose podcast, to do an episode on Bananas and Pajamas and Teletubbies and Barney, because they're children's cults. All right, that's all I got. We gotta go.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
Dude, this is a sober.
Yeah. This is a long sober episode. All right.
Oh my god, I should have opened the wine.
Where can you follow Wild Ass Adventures, Cat? Said the author. Where can you follow us?
You can follow us on Twitter at VeryPodcast. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and TikTok at A Very Special Podcast. And averyspecialpodcast.com. You have found us somewhere in the interwebs through your podcast app of choice, so follow us, rate us,
all that good shit,
all that good stuff.
Yeah, we appreciate. Send
us a Tumblr ask complaining about me woman-splaining, please.
Yeah, we always dig that. And as always, girl,
bye.
Watch the skies for koosh balls being flung at your face.